Fáilte, from our city by the sea. Stories of whalers, surfers and sailors whisper for a century from the bars and tavern walls in our seaside slice of heaven. So how did this wandering Irish lass land on these shores, to be welcomed in so many hearts, I hear you ask? They say it takes a village to raise a child. I have a whole barrier island and 3,000 miles of ocean filled with smiles, hugs and support. This is the year I get to thank you all. Hi, so we're back again on my podcast, and I am very, very happy to have my own personal friend, Glenn Angolia. He is going to be on the podcast tonight, and I'm going to take it easy on him because me and Glenn have been through a lot, and I didn't really know how to introduce him onto the podcast. And then I was looking back, and I actually know you, Glenn, for 10 years.
Wow.
You were one of the first people that I met when I started living in Long Island on the South Shore in the local alehouse. And yeah, we've been friends for like 10 years. Does that make you happy?
Yeah, I didn't realize it went back to the local alehouse days, because I want to apologize now for then. I'm sorry. I didn't know we knew each other that long, but
yes.
it's brilliant knowing you.
Yeah, it's brilliant knowing you too, even when you get on my nerves when I give you Grey Goose and tonic instead of Grey Goose and soda, but whatever, that's okay. We'll make it through.
Wow, we just ripped the Band-Aid right off, aren't we?
Yeah, there'll be no mercy shown on Glenn tonight, okay? So last night, myself and Glenn had a short conversation on the telephone. And one of the things that we said that would be off limits is the legal world and Glenn's driving abilities. So we're not going to talk about that at all. Is that okay with you, Glenn, that we don't talk about that?
The legal world is fine. My driving abilities are fine. I've really driven with you. Oh, my Lord.
They're really not.
Are you for real?
Yes, I am for real. I've been in the car with you going to wherever we're going, and it's really awful.
And we're still alive, aren't we?
Oh, well, for small mercies, we'll grant that.
We weren't injured, were we not?
Glenn drives a really nice car, not particularly well. That's all I can say about Glenn.
Well, okay. You know, I guess we can agree to disagree on this point, right?
Still here to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean,
Thank you, Peanut Gallery. Thank you, Peanut Gallery. So, as we say in the legal world, we're going to meet resolution with we can agree to disagree.
Yeah, just whenever I'm in your car and I'm a passenger, I've now gotten used to garbage cans going across over the hood and bicyclists and, you know. I'm sorry, were we not supposed to speak about it? Because we did leave the accident, didn't we?
No, oh my God. Oh my God. All right, so let's move forward. So Glenn and I both live in a lovely area in Long Island, and it's called Island Park. And I'm very glad to be there, and I get to raise my daughter there, and I paddleboard all the time. But I'm actually not from there. I'm from Northern Ireland. So I'm from Northern Ireland. I'm very proud to be from there, which is why I mention it 3 times every hour. So I would like to ask you, Glenn, what was it like growing up in Island Park?
It was a very nice place to grow up in, actually. The beach was there, the Bay Beach. And, our parents used to take us to the ocean a lot, but we used to be able to go to the Bay Beach and have a good time. And it was, I don't know, I just have these memories of being on the beach and, you know, hearing Band on the Run playing and funny smoke in the air, and it was a grand old time.
Yeah, we have actually a lot of characters that we loved so much from Island Park, and I just felt the need to mention him in the podcast tonight. Remember Bimbo?
Yes, I do. Dave, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Bimbo was the guy who literally swept the floor and like cleaned up the trolleys in Ace Hardware, and he was the nicest guy in the world, and he was one of the main characters in Island Park, and we miss him terribly, and I just felt the need to say about him tonight.
Rip Bimbo.
Rip Bimbo was right. So We're going to talk a little bit about governors. Tell me. Well, listen. I got to update everybody. So, me and Glenn hang out a lot, and last week it was his comedy show in Governor's Ball in Levittown. And unfortunately, it had to be 3 winners out of how many?
There were 15 of us who were finalists, and they picked the top 3.
Okay, so Glenn should have been number 4, but there was no prize given for number 4. So I was aggravated and I left Governor's Ball earlier, but I kind of felt to myself, because I'm always thinking positive, Glenn's career in doing stand-up comedy. Tell me where you're going with this right now, because I know you're going to be okay with it.
I'm just enjoying it a lot, so I started doing this like 5 years ago, and then there was a respite for COVID for a few years. And so I went back to it last June. And then after last June, this May, I won a contest in the city. And and I did 4 spots at the Eastville Comedy Club in Brooklyn with Janine Garofalo. And
nice.
And then I entered this LI Laugh Off, which was at Governor's, and I made the finals out of over 100 people. I was one of 15 to make the finals.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Right.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
I was actually there that night, and I can tell you right now, there was 3 finalists. You were the 4th, hands down. Like, you did great.
No, I think it was number 1, actually, Ashley. So, I don't know how it works in Ireland, but here in the States, we don't say you were definitely number 4.
Well, what do you want me to say?
Just lie and say I was number 1 like everyone else does to
I'm
me.
not going to do that.
By the way, I saw you after the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look like you on a mission.
I was upset that you didn't win, so I went home.
Right.
I went home. I was aggravated.
Did you go straight home, did you?
I stopped off at JJ Cooper's.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, I'm not...
reasons kept to myself.
Yeah, no, you made it very clear that you had to go somewhere right after the show, and I knew
you
not to get in your way.
You had like a bunch of fans after you. You had all
fans.
These, fans, and yeah.
Well, you're one of my biggest, so...
I'm one of your most dedicated fans.
You definitely are.
For sure. If I would get in a car with you driving, I'm like one of your biggest fans. So anyway, we're going to move forward from that because that's a touchy subject. So, where were you and your family during Hurricane Sandy?
We were at my house in Island Park, and it was just me and my girlfriend at the time, and I have an upstairs, so we went to the upstairs, and we heard everything crashing downstairs, and actually, there was this once, I realized at one point during Sandy that the water level in my house downstairs was getting to the level where it was reaching the countertops. So I went into the downstairs office, get some files off the desk. And when I was in there, it's pitch black. There's water 3 feet high, and there's a knock at my window. And I open the shade, and it's my next door neighbor. And he's up to water to his chest. And he lives next door in a downstairs apartment, him and his family. He's like, Glenn, can we come over to your house, me and my family? And I was like, now's not a good time. Like, the cappuccino machine just got hit, and I'm not going to be able to have fresh espresso in the morning, so why don't you stop thinking about yourself? You self-absorb. No, I didn't say. I said, sure, come on over. And so he did with, like, him, his wife, and his 10-year-old on his back, and he had a bag. And this is kind of like the poignant thing. It's like a bag. He now had a bag of all the possessions that he had in the world. Jeez. That was all it was left to, is that bag. So, yeah. So that's where I was at home. Took us 14 months to rebuild, but we did.
Nice. I think I was not there for Hurricane Sandy. I came the year after. And the resiliency of the people in Island Park. And a lot of people don't actually know, and I'm sure you can verify my claim, is that Island Park was hit just as bad as Long Beach, if not worse. And I've heard stories of people telling me when they were literally on the street waiting for the National Guard to come along with food supplies, water supplies. Mm-hmm. They were like, oh, sorry, we got to go straight to Long Beach. We're not going to Island Park. That's insane to me.
Yes. The whole area was destroyed. And speaking of, it was the National Guard, or was it was Salvation Army used to come around. It was like almost like an ice cream truck with hot meals. Let me tell you, Salvation Army makes a beef goulash that'll knock your socks off. I'm not even kidding. We used to run around like it was the ice cream man trying to find the Salvation Army truck.
That's crazy.
That's pathetic.
Insane.
I know.
No, it's not pathetic. It's just like, I can't even imagine what you guys went through. I really, really can't. So we have been friends for a very long time.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I was introduced to you and they were like, this is Glenn. He's a lawyer. I was like, oh, he's probably going to be the meanest person on the whole wide world. But I actually know that you're not. So,
you're right about something.
So my question to you is, do people make the presumptions that you're really mean when you say you're a lawyer?
No, they just make those presumptions after they meet me. Well, no, they do make presumptions because I'm a lawyer. It depends in what context they're meeting me, like prospective romance interests or whatever. I look great on paper, but I'm like lousy, like in person, type of deal. So, I'm a lawyer, I don't have any kids. I'm divorced, things look great. Then you meet me and then you find out, yeah, it figures that he's divorced, doesn't have kids.
God, oh my God.
No? Was that too soon?
No, I think it was great.
Yeah.
No, I don't mean it like that, but like I'm throwing.
They make other presumptions like I'm rich. Now that's the one I can't stand because I'm not at all. In fact, if any of you out there want to dedicate or donate any money to my cause, Glenn and Golia, fund me, please.
So I have.
Is this like Soupy Sales where it's like, just go to your parents' wallets and send that paper in, kids?
Oh my God. Took a turn for the worse. We took a turn for the worse.
Yep.
So I am an immigrant to Long Island, and I'm very glad to be an immigrant to Long Island. And usually people that I interview are like Irish immigrants, and that's just the way that things panned out in my podcast. But I know that you're Italian, and you got to visit Italy 2 years
did.
ago.
7, but yeah, like it's like
Right.
2 almost. I love you.
Why is time going so quickly?
How did you make? You know what? But how did you make it here to Long Island? Of all
Oh, you're going to
places?
have a question for me?
Yeah, I do. I have a question. I've never asked you this. Why'd you settle here? How did it happen?
This never happens on my podcast. I get asked questions.
Oh, okay. Then well, I take it back. I withdraw it. Let's
Okay,
talk
fine.
about me some more.
Yeah, let's talk about you. Or we can talk about me. What do you think about me? No, I'm joking.
I think.
So I have a question. Okay,
Yeah.
so you asked me a question.
Okay.
So I'm going to answer it. So as you like hearing, I'm an immigrant from Northern Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
So I always had a great swimming pool in the town that I grew up in, which is in Newry. And I'm a very proud citizen of Newry. And all my life, we were always in the pool. We were always keeping fit. We were always like doing like laps in the pool and competing. And for a long time, I lived in Queens in New York in the boroughs, and I just didn't really like it. So I was like, okay, after I got divorced and I became a mother, I'm like, okay, you got to make a break for it or not. So I decided to move out to Long Beach, where there was water and there was swimming, and I'd always had a lifelong dream to be a surfer.
I wasn't really interested in all that, right? I was just kind of trying to be polite. I'm sorry.
Jay, have you ever had a podcast being cut like right in the middle? Because this could be the opportunity. Yeah.
We could just
It's getting on my nerve.
We could just end it now if you want.
I'll give him another 5 minutes and then that's it. He's done.
All right, let's go.
So anyway, that's my story. Not that Glenn's interested in this. So let's go back to you. Let's go back to Glenn.
Yes. Let's talk about me. What would you like to know?
So what have I got?
By
in
the
my
way,
notepad?
all right, but you know what? I did listen to your story, and you said that you always had a pool, which was nice, right? See, when I was growing up, we didn't have that.
Oh no, a pool in my town, like a community.
Yeah, we had a pond, not a pool so much. But okay, I'm sorry.
So can we ask you a question that's like really important?
Yeah.
Do you put eggs in your lasagna as an Italian person?
Yes, I do. In fact, I made one yesterday.
Where's mine?
It's at my house. You could have some. It's fine.
Better believe it. But why do you put eggs in the lasagna?
Well, in yours, I'll put something else, like maybe some. Well, why? Because it's. Did I say rufinol? I didn't mean to say that.
Oh my God! This is it. This is going to be the night he gets kicked off.
This is really. I don't know why you guys invited me. I'm sure I won't be invited
This is the
back.
last time. It's going to be the dawn. You're going to be done.
We put eggs in the lasagna because my grandparents are from Sicily, and in Sicily, so I'm told, and I've been to Sicily, I've been to Italy, that they use hard-boiled eggs as a protein substitute because they don't have as much meat available. That's what I was told.
I gotta try this. What do you do to alleviate the pressure of being a lawyer, apart from putting eggs in your lasagna? Which sounds really weird, by the way.
It's actually a good question.
You should just put potatoes in there. That's what I would do.
Potatoes?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. No. By the way, your shepherd's pie is amazing. I've had your shepherd's pie. It's amazing. Yeah. It is.
It's very good.
Alleviate the pressures of being, just I have hobbies. So like I make wine. I like to cook sometimes. I
like
used
to aggravate Irish girls on their podcasts.
I like to. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do. I like to aggravate my friends. But I don't know. I guess the normal types of things.
Yoga, Reiki,
More like
driving.
Crawl into a dark corner and scream for hours. Just
So what do you think about pumpkin spice?
pumpkin spice.
Yeah.
Which one of the Spice Girls was she?
I think she was there was no pumpkin spice. She was like scary spice, wasn't she?
Okay.
What was she?
They were all spices, right?
Oh, I'm too young. I wouldn't know.
I think pumpkin spice is fine during, like I think you were saying September is a good time. That's a good time for pumpkin flavored stuff. There's a lot of pumpkin farms out here, Ashley. So, being that you're doing a podcast here, you should like cater to the pumpkin
turn
farms.
into a pumpkin right now?
Well,
Like, what do you want me to do?
Maybe you should give some away or something. Don't be so tight.
Did I just get roasted on my own podcast? Did that just happen?
You're so not getting roasted. I can't even match toe to toe with you right now. I'm struggling here.
I'm struggling too. So I'm going to ask you a question. You are a lawyer.
Yes, I am a lawyer.
And you passed the bar in something that I did not know. Don't pretend. What are you going to say now?
Oh, nothing. I didn't really have anything except I'm not really good at passing bars. Right? I just flew in.
I was not going to throw my hands in my face and start laughing, but you're so funny. So you went to New York School of Law.
I did.
I got it right. Usually I say like something ridiculous. Like,
That's the funny thing that happened in our conversation yesterday. Now I'm remembering.
Yes.
Did
Yeah, like everyone's going, oh, you went to the New York Law School. It's like, no, I didn't go to the New York Law School. You went to...
Yeah, you said yesterday, so you went to NYU Law. And I'm like, most people say that. I don't correct them. I just say, yeah, it's a great school. But I went to New York Law School, which is a very decent school. It's been there over 100 years on Worth Street. And, yeah.
How did you put yourself through law school? What did you do for a living?
Well, I worked, before I went to law school, I worked in kitchens. I used to cook. That's how I put myself through college. And then when I went to law school, I clerked at a law firm in Brooklyn and borrowed money, the American way. We just borrowed a lot of money. I mean, really. I borrowed all my law school money and, threw some of it out there on the stock market. Figured I'd get that, like get the little, play the teaser. But, it didn't really work out. Yeah, that didn't work out. Do you know I could have bought Apple stock for $5 a share in 1996? I was going to take 15 grand that I bought. Is this illegal for saying it? This isn't really me out there. I was going to take 15 grand and buy as many shares as I could because I was never good at math, so I can't figure it out now. With the 15 grand at $5 a share, I figured out that it would, I think today, if I would have just held on to it, it'd be like $1.3 million or something. I don't know.
Jeez.
Yeah,
oh my
right?
God. What are you going to
Right?
do?
How hot would I be then? Right? You'd be, right? You might even think about it. I'm sorry.
He's not sorry at all. He says whatever he wants.
I was really hoping I would do well for you now, and I
you're
see
doing
I failed
great.
you like everyone else
No,
who
you're
relies
going
on
to get
me.
kicked off in about 5 minutes. I'll give you another question or two, but then that's it. You're out.
Then can I drink vodka?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I'll buy it for you. No, you're right. Vodka soda, not vodka tonic.
That's right.
I finally get you. Yeah, whatever. So, okay, past the boozing stage. So, what was it like that you had in your life where you were a lawyer and I don't know, I've lost my train of thought now. Like, just tell me something fun about being a lawyer.
Oh, it's all the leprechauns, actually.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. Well, you had asked in your prior podcast about Long Island myths.
Right.
You had
Thank
said
you.
that.
Yes, thank you.
And I thought, wouldn't it be great if there was like a Long Island leprechaun? Like, that would be awesome, no?
I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know. I mean, like, I think leprechauns are talk worthy, but I could just see the Long Island leprechaun, like, you know, getting lost on the Southern State Parkway, talking about traffic issues, you know.
There's a
He's
couple.
probably got like 5 girlfriends, you know, things like that, you know.
I see. There's a couple of Long Island myths, though, that I was thinking about when I was sitting over there. You don't want to hear about them, though, right?
I do.
Nah.
No,
come
I do. Are
on.
they rude?
Oh, no. Yeah, they could be. Maybe I should
God.
holster them for another time.
Oh, God.
Do you do like an R-rated
No, I
podcast?
don't do
Is
a
it? This
very
isn't
R-rated
R-rated?
podcast.
You know, there's 7
No.
words you can't say on air.
What are they?
Well, I can't say them.
Ashes.
But George Carlin went over them. Yeah, there are. I actually like looked at them before I came on here because I wanted to remind myself of what I could say.
Of what you could say and could not say.
Correct.
So, when is your next comedy show?
This Friday, September 1st, at Governor's, the Giggle Room. Please come down if anyone's out there. If anyone listens to this show, please come down. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people who listen, but like, I'm just saying. No, I don't. I really didn't mean it.
Please
that
come
way.
to Governor's because I'll
Yeah.
be way funnier than Glenn is because now he's like totally getting on my nerves on my own podcast.
You're gonna come, aren't you? At
Of course.
7:30. Yeah. So
yeah.
Ashley
Do I
will
have a
be there.
choice?
Not really, because
Okay,
if you don't, who is gonna go? But yeah, that's where I'll be.
Well, I'm going to say goodnight to you. It was so wonderful having you on my show. And I'm so glad that you're my friend. And we get to go through this journey so much so like we do. And you're the worst driver ever, but I love you.
You know, it was a real big pleasure of mine to be here tonight, and I would do this anytime for you. And yeah, I'm such a better driver than you are. But I love you, Ashley.
I love you too, Glenn. Night.